Good afternoon, Bistro fans. Jill here. I am here with our special guest, Lillian from Open Farm. And today we are going to talk a little bit more about Open Farm and their products. A few weeks back, if you placed an order online for local delivery, you probably received either a stew for your kitty or one of these guys, which was a home cooked, gently cooked food from Open Farm for your dog to try. And I know we've had a lot of success stories from the gently cooked and the stews that people liked it or their dogs liked it. It was easy. So Lillian's going to tell us a little bit more about the company today and some of their products, and we'll get going. So if you could just tell us your name and how you got started in the company so everyone knows who you are.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I'm Lillian with Open Farm. So I cover the Ohio Valley region as the territory sales manager. I've been with Open Farm over a year and a half now, and I absolutely love it. I've been in the pet industry almost 9 years at this point. And was totally an accident. Always just loved my own pets, but ended up working out perfectly and have gone deep into the world of pet nutrition and overall wellness and have loved every second of it. So happy to be here and also so excited just to represent one of the best younger food companies on the market now. And just obviously having a partnership with Pet Bistro is awesome too. So we all know how Jill offers such great services that we're really lucky to be in her store.
Awesome. Thank you. What animals or what pets do you have at home now? What are your pets?
I have 2 golden retrievers. They're both old ladies, but super sassy, and I love them to death. And then I also have a cat. So orange and white, just little sneaker. He gets himself into all sorts of trouble. And then we also foster Australian cattle dogs. I sit on the board for a rescue based in Ohio. So we have just a constant revolving door of fosters and puppies and evaluations coming through. So it's always something. And then we have a bunch of chickens out in the yard also.
Oh, fun. So are you able to keep the dogs away from the chickens? Is that?
Yes. Thankfully, our dogs are very respectful. Sometimes if the cat's working in the garden with us, the chickens will humor him and pretend that they're scared of him. And the fosters, they are kept well under control near them.
Yeah, I can imagine. Oh, goodness. Well, that's awesome. I actually didn't realize that you did rescue, so that's really fun.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about how Open Farm got started? I know they have a very unique and interesting story, and like you said, they are newer to the market, but I think their philosophies as to why they got started is fantastic and would be great for everyone to hear that.
Yeah, so it's such an interesting story. We're owned by a family group, so it's Jacqueline and Isaac, who are husband and wife, and then their brother-in-law, Derek. And so Jacqueline, she was actually on the highway and just had this like eye-opening experience involving a truck transporting pigs to slaughter. And that kind of led her down this road where she was questioning just everything she knew about where both her food and her pet's food was coming from. She really wanted to be able to know and to trace how her food was raised, where it came from, how it was handled, everything along the way. And she just wasn't able to get that information, especially for her pet's food. And so with that, she left her job as a corporate accountant and started Open Farm. So it definitely had some learning experience along the way, but we've ended up with such an awesome supply chain with different certifications that we use, which I know we'll talk a little bit more about. But being able to now know that everything she's feeding her pets and what we're feeding our pets is ethical, sustainable, and completely transparent. And that we can now share this with consumers all over North America and soon even wider than that.
That's pretty awesome. And again, I think it comes from every business owner, entrepreneur. There's always some sort of passion or light bulb or epiphany that happens at some point that makes us try to do better,
Yep.
make better. So I think that's fantastic from her. And I think you and I could probably figure out the differentiating factor and what makes Open Farm different and awesome. But I think there's maybe a lot of people that don't know about this next fact. But what do you think makes Open Farm different and awesome?
So Open Farm, we're really the first brand that's able to offer a full line of food that utilizes completely humane grade ingredients that are humanely raised, sustainably sourced, ethical, and transparent. And so everything that we make can be traced and verified from start to finish. Saying that our meats are humanely raised is not just a tagline. This is something that through our third-party nonprofit partnerships with Certified Humane, Global Animal Partnership, Oceanwise, and then also on the packaging side, TerraCycle, that we can go back and find the exact specifications of how these animals are raised. There are audits for both the farms that raise the food, for our facilities where it's made. This covers everything from birth, life, transport, end of life, making the food, how it's handled the entire way. We can trace, track, and share every single bit of this. And we even have a really neat tool on our website, so openfarmpet.com, where you can take the lot number off of any of our products, enter it on the website, and then it will pull up a full report of what's in the bag and where it came from. So you just go to our website to transparency, and then if you scroll down, it'll have a spot where you can put your lot number in. And then here's an example of one of our puppy formulas that you can see every ingredient that goes in there, where it came from for this specific lot. So this will change from one batch to the next. And even up just a little bit more, there's a PDF that you can open that has our third-party lab results for all of the E. coli, Listeria, Salmonella, so that you can make sure that this was tested negative for foodborne pathogens before it was released out to distribution as well. And so this is something that nobody else has. And because of our requirements for this traceability that goes all the way from farm to manufacturing into the store, that you can get this information too. And because transparency was something that we were founded on, it's so important for us that we can share this with you and that you have it at your fingertips at home as well.
Right. So every single package that you guys have has some sort of lot code on it. I'm going to make my screen a little bit bigger here. Get rid of that guy. Go back to us. And we have on here, like, this is the beef, which is for the gently cooked. So there's a lot code up here that you can enter right into the website, and then it's the one thing I found interesting when we were going through. I did this on a couple of the products when we were doing the free gift with delivery, and it was fun to see that the butternut squash actually came from Michigan. So somewhere right here local that you can actually be like, oh, like, you have a connection with it at that point. There's farms in Michigan and farmers hard at work growing produce, and you guys are utilizing them. So that's fantastic to see that as well.
Yeah, and our gently cooked is actually made right down 75 from you guys. You go down, hop over to 23, and you hit Columbus, Ohio, and it's right there. So we don't. It's something that is really regional for us, and I live down in Columbus, so I love to brag about it too. Yeah. But it's really neat to have it made right in our backyard here in the Great Lakes region.
That's awesome. And I'm going to circle back around a couple of things that you had mentioned as well. So on this bag in particular, so this is the Open Farm. This is the freeze-dried surf and turf. And I know the reason it has both of these on here is because we have both fish and we have
beef in there as well.
So we have both of these. But can you go through and explain one at a time? So exactly what is the Global Animal Partnership, or GAP? Like, what does that mean, and what does that stand for, so people understand what that is?
Yeah, so Global Animal Partnership was originally founded by Whole Foods in 2008. It's since split apart. It's its own completely separate third-party nonprofit organization. But what they do is they create a step program so that farmers, they can start by just changing a couple of things about how they raise their animals to improve their life and to make it a more humane situation for them. And then farmers can move up the steps to step 1 through 5, even 5+, where animals might be both born, raised, processed on the same farm. They'll be there their entire life. We use pasture-centered. So this is step 4, which is the highest you'll really find for beef, for example. And this is pasture-centered. So they're going to be out on pasture. They're not going to be raised in a feedlot and then finished on grass. These are actually grass-fed their entire life. So really the appropriate diet for cattle is to have grass their whole life. And so these standards are something you can go to the Global Animal Partnership's website and you can pull up the standards. Same with Certified Humane. This is another logo that you'll see like on the chicken bag, for example. So that'll have a slightly different one down at the bottom. So certifiedhumane.org, you can go there and you'll get their published standards for all of the different animals that go through the program. And so this is not just a page or two outline or suggestions. These are hard and fast rules of standards that you must meet or exceed on an everyday basis. And we're talking like 50+ pages of standards. So it's not the kind of thing that a farm could change overnight just to please an auditor. This is a real full lifestyle change for these farmers. And if we have time, I'll give a quick example of some of the difference between conventional chicken and certified humane chicken. This is like one of my most eye-opening facts that is like you never think about it. So in the US, chickens at night, they are only required to have 1 hour of darkness for a rest period in a 24-hour period. And with chickens, if the lights are on, they're going to be awake. They're going to be active. If the lights are off, they go to sleep. They're really hard to wake up when it's dark out. In Canada, there's actually no requirement for darkness. So they could have the lights on 24 hours a day for their entire life. With Certified Humane, because they don't believe that it is humane to keep chickens awake for their majority of their life so that they're eating more and gaining weight faster, they mandate that at least 6 hours of continuous darkness be put in place so that they have time to rest and give their metabolism a break, let them stop eating for a little bit. And we all know how cranky we are after an all-nighter. Think about doing that every night for your entire life. And it really helps to cut down on a lot of tussles between the birds. It makes them healthier overall, so you don't have to administer prophylactic antibiotics. You don't have to do physical alterations like beak trimming to keep them from pecking each other. They're given a little bit more space as well. So like 50% more space. And this is measured in the pounds per square foot of bird. And it's pretty significant, the difference there, what you get out at the end when you have a happy bird versus one who's just been put through the system.
Sure, absolutely. Well, and I mean, a lot goes to speak about organic and having meat that is raised appropriately, whether that is on an organic ranch or somebody who follows the GAP principles and things of that nature. So I appreciate what Open Farm is doing when it comes to sourcing and transparency, because I think that is really important for our pets as well.
And even with our fish, I know you pointed out the Oceanwise logo too. So Oceanwise is a partner with the Vancouver Aquarium up in Canada, and they help us find sustainable sources of fish. So in our case, with our whitefish formula, we call this our catch of the season. So whitefish is kind of a bigger classification of fish that includes a number of different species. And so because they're not all in season at any given time, and also because there's fishing limits on how much you can get, we're going to slightly change which fish we're using depending on what is in season. And so thankfully they all feed very much the same. You're not going to notice a difference from one bag to the next, even for picky pets. But it is nice that you can flip the bag over, and down by that lot code that we had pointed out earlier on the whitefish formula, it will tell you which fish is in the bag. So it's actually printed
into the search code there onto the lot. So that's the catch of the season whitefish, and so this one's we have whitefish and whitefish meal, it looks like.
And if you actually look on the physical bag, it's printed right on there too. So down by the lot code on the back.
Oh, yep. Okay. So it says Pacific cod.
Yep. And so that's the type of whitefish that we're using in this formula. And so you might see pollock or hake. There's going to be different fishes that we'll print, and we'll tell you right on the bag because we're really proud of our sourcing and how it's rotated. So we want you to be able to get that information right at your fingertips too.
That's fantastic information. Yeah, good. So in addition, what are some of are there other stipulations with Oceanwise with how the fish is caught and bycatch and things of that nature? Because I know sometimes that is a question that gets asked around here.
Yeah, so in conventional net fishing, over 40% of what gets pulled up is bycatch. And so this could be live, otherwise healthy product that just isn't the intended species that the fisherman wants. So we actually line catch to make sure that we're not getting all of these different fish that are not what's intended. There's also no farmed fish in here. So we do have, besides the whitefish, we have salmon as well. And the difference in quality of farmed versus wild caught fish is just phenomenal. So if you look at a farmed fish, I have photos that I love to share, just the difference in color even. Farmed salmon tends to be pretty coral colored and a little bit anemic looking because of the colorants that they're fed to help make them pink along with their food pellets. But wild caught salmon is this nice, deep, rich pink that occurs naturally because of their diet and because they're able to move around and have this natural activity. Right. And it also means that they're not being fed antibiotics. And then because farmed fish, they're in these large nets in the ocean. What they're eating, if it falls through the net, it goes down into the environment around them and is actually very damaging to the environment. So hopefully someday farmed fish will be a much more environmentally friendly and sustainable practice. But at this point, it's something that we have to be so conscious about because it is very detrimental to the environment around.
Right, right. Good. That's all great information. I think that is one of the main bullet points on what makes Open Farm completely different from a lot of other companies. So if you had to choose one product that is your favorite, I know that's probably hard because you have
one is really hard.
Do you have a favorite? Is there something that you would pick?
Like our gently cooked chicken is just like otherworldly. Like I would sit down and eat this with my dogs. It smells so good. I'm not gonna lie, I've tried it before. It's made in a facility that processes meat for restaurant. So it's all the same stuff that we would go out to eat at a really nice quality restaurant anyway. Just needs some seasoning on it and you're good to go. No one will be the wiser. But just having something high moisture, knowing that because it's gently cooked, that you don't have to worry about potential foodborne pathogens, which can be a worry for some people with full raw diets. It's super easy to mix in. If you're doing kibble or want to mix it with freeze dried, you can dress it up with kefir or with bone broth. Like it's so versatile. And then it is a complete and balanced diet too. So you don't have to add a supplement to it if you don't want to. Plus it's cooked in a sous vide style. So the package that it comes in on your shelf, that's actually the product is put in there raw, and it's vacuum sealed in that package and cooked in the package. So you don't lose any of the natural moisture or nutrients to the cooking environment. So it's cooked in there, it's dried off, the sticker's put on, and then it's frozen, and then it comes to the store. So there's no potential contamination either from the cooking step to the packaging to coming to the store. So it really is such a great way to make this. Also with sous vide, because it's in this water bath, the water temperature is very highly controlled. So it will never exceed the 165-degree cooking temperature that is intended. You're not going to have hot spots. You're not going to have spots that were potentially undercooked and then blended later. So it's really a very safe way to cook.
Nice. Fantastic. And that's one of your newer products as well. So
yeah, this just came out last year and has just been so amazing. And we're so happy that you were able to get it into a lot of homes to try with your curbside program as well and delivery. Yeah.
Any trends that you're seeing right now in the market or in pet foods? I would say adding more fresh food to the bowl is a huge trend, so that might link into there. But is there anything else that you've maybe seen?
Yeah, so definitely the move towards building your meal, building a bowl that's full of variety, full of different types of food, different protein sources, and even rotating brands to make sure that you are not backed into a hole if you're traveling. So if that means you're on your favorite food and you come in and grab some Open Farm to add to it, add some freeze dried onto it, try a little bit of our bone broth, mix things up, because this is really going to make your pet healthier overall. It's going to help their gut health tremendously as well. So the more you can, just build that bowl up, make sure you're adding moisture to kibble, make sure if you are doing raw that you can add in fresh fruits and vegetables to it as well. Use that as treats even, but just making sure that they are getting that adequate moisture. It's helping to give them balanced nutrition, just how we would with our own diet. So none of us sit down and eat the same bowl of Cheerios for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day for our whole life. It's going to leave you lacking eventually. And so by rotating, by making sure that you have a little bit of everything in your bowl, it's really going to help them be healthier overall.
I couldn't agree with that statement more. So, and you guys do offer quite a bit. So I've grabbed some of the options that we have at the store. So we have both cat and dog varieties. A couple things that I didn't grab. There's stews for both cats and dogs that come in the Tetra Packs. There's the bone broth. There's also the frozen kefir. And then treats. We have dog treats. Currently no cat treats. I don't know if that's maybe on the horizon, but
and even our cod skins are a great one that you can share with the cats too. So those are just pressed little cod skin chips almost that you can share with the cats. They love that.
And then I would love to see a cat freeze dried, but that's just because I'm a big fan favorite of freeze dried.
My cat would love that too, but he's stuck sneaking the dogs out of their bowl right now.
Totally dig these as well. But as for Open Farm themselves, the company itself, how do you feel like they've been able to change some of the landscape within the pet industry? Do you feel like that really relates back to the transparency, or do you feel like there's more to it?
I mean, definitely with all three of our pillars. So just the sourcing, the ethical aspect, the transparent aspect, these are all questions that we want consumers, we want retailers, we ourselves want to be asking about everything in our lives. So looking at packaging, taking a minute to do your research and say, well, this says it's humanely raised on it, but how do you back that up? Until there is something that is transparent and traceable, it's just a buzzword. Same with natural, it's used so much, but how do you measure that? And so by really pushing and making more consumers aware of the difference here with these third-party logos that you get on the bag, that doesn't mean nothing. That means that a lot of work, a lot of auditing, a lot of paperwork has gone into making sure that what's in the bag is what we thought we were ordering, and that it's not skipped a step and somehow been swapped along the way. And so we're really proud to have such tight control over our supply chain, and really, really want you as a consumer to be able to look at what you're getting as well, to learn how to trace your own food, your own shampoo, your products, everything in your life, to make sure that you are getting something that is being better to the earth and that is sustainable.
Yeah, awesome. That's fantastic. Any products Open Farm's coming out with? I know we just had one of our big pet expos trade shows back in February, and I think the one in the fall is maybe in limbo, but do you guys,
yeah, we'll have to see what comes of that. But
right, do you guys have anything in the works, or things that you guys are coming out with? I know you just had some new product launched, so we can talk about that as well.
Yeah, so about a year ago now, the gently cooked was a huge new category for us, so definitely proud of that. This spring, we had 4 new formulas join our Ancient Grains line. So that is a newer product for us. Our kibble had been grain-free up to that point. And we had been working just to meet the needs of pets who do want a little bit of different type of formula. So we're really excited to have a fuller line there as well. And then we're putting our finishing touches on some new kefir products that are coming later this summer too. So you can definitely keep your eye out for that. But anything Open Farm you can get from the Pet Bistro. They're really great to have it on the shelf. And if there's something that you need and you can't find right then, they can definitely get it for you really quickly too.
Yeah, of course, we can always order something, or if we need to order extra, or if there's somebody needs to order in bulk, we can definitely work with customers doing that. So one of the products I want to swing back around to, because I know you said you have more kefir products coming out. So right now we only have the kefir in the 16 and the 30 ounce, right?
Yep.
16 and 30 ounce sizes. If you could tell us a little bit more about kefir and their benefits, because I think that sometimes gets overlooked. I know goat's milk's kind of been a big one for quite some time, and the kefir is kind of filtering into the market. But what made you guys choose the cow kefir over a goat's milk? Do you have any information on that?
Yeah, so it's definitely a different product, and it's pretty neat how it's made. So kefir or kefir is a fermented cow milk product. And so traditionally it's made a little bit differently, but using an ingredient that's not safe for human consumption. And so we found a way and a partner to be able to make it by adding freeze-dried probiotics into it, where they're then fermented. So the probiotics, they go crazy. This is great for gut health. And then you end up with this really potent, it's almost like a liquid yogurt. It tastes a little bit like almost fizzy or effervescent when you try it. And this is coming out of a creamery that is one of the only in California that's allowed to sell raw milk for human consumption. So this is USDA certified organic and is part of certified humane as well. So you'll see both those logos on the bottle. But this is really one that when you feed it, where goat milk, you can kind of go nuts with it. There's not much of a high limit to it. This, you definitely want to make sure you're dosing according to the bottle. It's about 1 ounce per 10 pounds of body weight max. And that's enough to give you this great probiotic benefit to help with gut health, but it's also very digestible. So because of the fermentation process, it's going to make those enzymes that might upset a dog's stomach when you're dealing with a pasteurized product, and it's going to make it really digestible for them. So also super palatable. It's something you can add as a topper just to help dress up plain kibble, and it is good for cats and dogs too. So you can mix it into either of their food. And then we do add cinnamon and turmeric as well, which have great anti-inflammatory properties.
That's great. Great information. Thank you for going over that. And I will, if somebody is new to kefir or just trying it, Just a quick side note, it is typically a little bit more sour smelling. We've heard that, people that are newer to adding bowl mix-ins and things like that, they take it home and then call us because they think maybe it's bad. But because of the fermentation process, it does create kind of a sour smell. And
and if you
more sour as fridge, or it has fermented a little bit more. So
once it is thawed, you have 3 weeks to use it in the fridge. So you don't have to hurry through it in just 7 to 10 days. You've got a full 21 days to get through it. But once you thaw it out, the probiotics in there, that is a live bacteria, just like what's in our gut. So it is going to continue to be active and continue the fermentation process once it's back at refrigerator temperature.
Fantastic. Thank you for that information. That is great. Is there anything that you think we missed today, or anything that we need to review one more time?
I think we covered a lot of ground. Definitely, if you have questions come up, we have so much great information on our website, and then I'm always available to you and to your customers as well. But we really just want to drive home the importance of knowing what's in your bag and how it was raised and where it came from, and that you can get that information from start to finish. So hopefully this kind of opens some eyes and you get a chance to go and look at labels a little bit more closely when you're doing your own grocery shopping. And I really encourage you to go to these third-party nonprofit websites to check out some of these standards, because it's such a huge difference from conventionally raised ingredients as well. And then I do want to take a second. There is another partner that we kind of skipped over, that just being the very tail end of Earth Month, I want to touch on.
Oh, yes.
So with our packaging, the vast majority of pet food packaging is not recyclable. Even ours, if you put it the most of it into your normal recycling, it's not going to get recycled. So we instead have partnered with TerraCycle, which is a company. So it's everything except for our kefir bottles, and the Tetra Paks goes through TerraCycle. So you'll see the little infinity logo down there.
Yep.
And so that's TerraCycle, which means that you can either bring the open farm bags, even our gently cooked packaging, so that little plastic pack is part of this program. So you can bring those back to your retailer, or you can collect them at home. It's only about 2 pounds of bags, which is not much at all. You'll get to that in just a couple of trips to the store. And then you go to terracycle.org. You can print a free shipping label for Open Farm specifically, and then just schedule a pickup, and then your box will be sent to TerraCycle, where this packaging that would otherwise be unrecyclable gets remade into synthetic lumber for decking, play structures, frisbees, those giant recycling totes and garbage totes that you'll see on the side of the road. All of these different things can be made from this packaging. And so this is a free program for consumers. We pay for it, so you don't have to. And then that ensures that all of these packages don't have to go to a landfill. So definitely make sure that you're utilizing this program. And while you're on the TerraCycle website, check out some of the other things that you can TerraCycle too. There's so many different brands that participate. Even like my biggest eye opener was they'll take your cigarette butts back for if you're a smoker, and they'll clean them and be able to recycle them. So definitely the less you can contribute to landfills, the more that you can put through this program or through normal mixed recycling in your community. It's so important and gives such a huge impact to our environment.
Perfect. So this is the website. This is TerraCycle. Actually, it says TerraCycle.com. I did type in TerraCycle.org and it switched me over. So either or, it looks like it gets you there. And this is great. I know that more and more pet food companies are switching over to TerraCycle for this very reason, that most food packages, even food for us, food that we buy, plastic is not allowed to be recycled. So this is really great that they are doing other packaging and whatnot as well. So people can definitely go to this website and check it out.
Yeah. And they've made it now so you can get points for everything that you turn in and get some rewards too. So they've made it really fun to participate.
Good. That's fantastic. That's a great resource. Thank you for sharing that. I guess I didn't realize how much more TerraCycle has been doing.
Yeah, every time I look, there's something new on there, and I'm like, oh, great! I can add this into my routine now.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you for circling back around. I think that's a very important topic as well, because you're right. April 20. What was it? 22nd was Earth Day. So anything we can do to support and help out Mother Earth is always fantastic. So. And I do believe also if people are ordering local delivery, we did just get some samples in of dry food and possibly some freeze dried from our distributor. So you guys might start to see those in your packages. So we've been trying to put some different things in everybody's package to maybe try something different, especially now that they're home and they can maybe use it for interactive toys or do some boredom busters with their dogs, put it in an interactive toy or put it on a plate and let them sniff out things that they like. I've seen those kind of fun things going around. So we were able to get some dry food kibble samples and we'll be getting those out into some of our local deliveries. So.
And remember too, your sample packs are TerraCycle, so you can either collect those or take them back to the Pet Bistro and they'll send them in for you.
That's awesome. Good. Well, I am so glad you were able to join us today. It doesn't look like we have any comments from today, but if there are any, I will circle back around and answer comments. If I get stumped, we will reach out to you, of course, to help out. But I'm so glad you were able to join us today and tell us more about Open Farm and the products that you guys have for cats and dogs and your partnership with us here at the Pet Bistro.
Thank you so much for having me, and can't wait to hear back how everyone likes their samples and their deliveries.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.